Hello. Hey guys, remember me? I know it has been so long since I've done a book review, since I've made a video for my YouTube or anything. So apologies for that. Life has been lifing in a good way and just in an overwhelming way with like work and relationships and all these things. I think there's also another video that I need to make regarding my health and all of that, but that's something else. For now, we need to do a book review. And I know I've always done the sips part, the sentences part of the book club, but don't worry, I am still going to do the sips part. I haven't found what I think the drink of Fourth Wing is. Probably has to be like beer, like some type of ale, because I don't know. It seems like it would fit the time that the book was written in, like the setting, as far as like pubs and old dark ages vibe. So I feel like it would have to be like a cider or a beer. But let me know in the comments what you guys think the drink should be. I still have to do the old fashioned for our last book. But whatever drink that you think should be representative of Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, Onyx Storm, your opinions are needed. And we'll go from there. But this morning, I'm drinking coffee because coffee's life. And I have a lot to say, so I need my caffeine. Okay, so another reason why it has taken me so long to like make this video is because I don't think that I can do a recap how I did the last one with just like me recapping it and then like saying what my favorite parts are, because they're number one, there's so many, but it's just written different. It's a romanticy book, so I've enlisted the help of the internet, and I have gotten together a list of questions that I'm going to answer based on my opinion about Fourth Wing. And I'll do the same thing for Onyx Storm as well as Iron Flame. But I think I needed a little bit more help in expressing myself when it comes to this series in general. And so that's the theme, or that's the outline of how this one is going to go. So first things first, I want to do a synopsis of basically what the book is about. So if you need a spoiler, or if you're afraid of spoilers, then you don't want to listen to this part or this video at all. Okay, so synopsis time. And of course, I have my beautiful copy of Fourth Wing with the dragons, okay? And the logo and everything. And I'm wearing Rider Black in honor of that as well. Okay, so Fourth Wing is basically about this girl. Her name is Violet Sorrengail. I believe she's 20 years old, and she has been training to go to this college, and it is a war college. The college is called Basgayath War College, and it is in the center of this country called Navarre, which is half of a continent. So half is Navarre, and the other half is Port Emile. And then, of course, there's another area, but we'll talk about that later. Everyone in Navarre, or the kind of defenses that they use, is their dragon riders in Navarre, and then on the other side, they ride griffins. So, and both sides are constantly fighting with one another. So, she is having to train to go to this college, but there are 4 quadrants in that college. There is the scribe quadrant, the writer's quadrant, healers quadrant, and infantry quadrant. So you basically decide which one you're going to go into. So all her life, she's been training to be a scribe. Her family is a military family, so they've all gone to this college. Her father was a scribe. Her mother was a writer. And her brother was a writer, as well as her sister. So she was the one that was going to like follow her dad's, you know, legacy. But her dad passed away. And when that happened, her mother hit the Uno reverse and said, "Joke's on you. You're not going to the scribes quadrant. You are going to be a writer like the rest of us." So she got hit with the okie doke, and all that training that she had been doing for scribe quadrant, you know, null and void. And now she needs to focus on training to go to the writer's quadrant, which is a bit more dangerous. She is very weak because her mother was sick when she was pregnant with her. So she has brittle bones, easily breakable, all of that, which is kind of crazy if you're going to the writer's quadrant, because it's like hand-to-hand combat, it's riding dragons, it's being fast, agile, all of those things that she doesn't naturally have. So she starts training for it. She doesn't have a lot of time. All these people that usually go there have been training all their lives, and she's had maybe 6 months to a year. So she's not ready, basically. But she has to do what she has to do. Mom said, do writer's quadrant. That's what it's going to be. And in addition to just her, in addition to her mom, you know, being her mother, she is also third in command in the country, second in command. She is the general of Bezgayeth. So it's not just, oh, mom said I need to go to this. No, the general said you're going to this quadrant, and that's what it's going to be. The relationship with her mother is very nuanced, and we'll get into that. But she's a very hard woman. So, you know, she's a little scared. She thinks she's going to die. She's freaking out. But, you know, she has been training, and she's really fast, even though she's small and doesn't have like the physicality. She's small, and she can do a lot of things very quickly. So there's that. The first thing that she has to do in order to even get to the main campus of her quadrant is she has to cross the parapet. And the parapet is like a very tall, thin piece of stone that she has to cross. And if she falls and she dies. Like I would imagine it like a little bit wider than like a balance beam. Like you can put your feet on it, but you know, you have to balance. And her sister, she has an older sister, obviously, who's a writer. Her name is Mira. She wants her to not go there because she doesn't think she's strong enough to make it through. But she realizes her mom is not going to, you know, give her a pass. So she just tells her all the advice that she can give her in order to make it through the quadrant and across the parapet, all of those things. So she tells her to stay away from this guy named Zayden Ryerson. Zayden's father was the leader of a rebellion, and his father killed their brother. So she's like, if he sees you, he's going to be mad that your mom killed his dad. And also his dad killed Brennan. So you want to avoid this guy. This guy is going to kill you. So she tells her to avoid Zayden. She tells her to find Dane Atos, who is her best friend growing up. So that's like a no-brainer for her. She's like, oh yeah, I'm going to see Dane. Great. She has had a crush on Dane since they were kids anyway. So there's feelings there. She's excited to see him. That's her best friend. And in the meantime, she meets other friends as well. Rhiannon, Sawyer, Riddick. These are members of her squad, and they become fast friends. So there's different things that go on. They have to do this thing called the gauntlet, which is basically preparing for them to mount dragons, but it's on this cliff face and it's like a obstacle course. It made me think about, that show like Wipeout, or those gladiator shows where they have to do all those little, agility tests or whatever. The difference is it's made of metal instead of like the inflatables. And it's also on this cliff face, so if you fall, you die. It's not like you fall, you get wet, and you don't get points. It's different. It's like life or death in this quadrant. So she has to get through that. And there's also like threshing. That's when they're presented to the dragons, and the dragons basically decide if they're gonna bond with you or not. That means you'll be able to ride them. They'll be able to talk to you, all of those type of things. If they think you're weak, or if they sense fear or anything, not only will they not bond you, they will burn you on the spot and kill you. If you're annoying, if they don't like you, if they think you're, you don't have good intentions, or you're just not strong enough, you're dead. So these are the different obstacles that she has to go through during the course of her time in the quadrant. But before I get into that, she does meet Xaden on the parapet, and he was like, "Who are you again? Violet Sorngale, the general's daughter?" So he's looking like she's a little bit afraid of him, for sure. And in addition to her having him as like somebody to be feared, sort of like an enemy, but just unsure of him, there's also this guy named Jack Barlow, who is her nemesis. Like, he wants to kill her from the jump because he sees that she's weak and smaller, and he's just like, you need to die. So he tries to throw her off the parapet as she's crossing. Literally, she just met him, and he's literally trying to kill her. But he doesn't succeed. But like all throughout her time in the college, like they're going back and forth fighting, and all these things. So it turns out that her and Xaden, they do fall in love. There's also a love story in there. I mean, romance, fantasy, all of that. So they do fall in love, and it's sort of like a love triangle between Dane and Xaden, and her, but not really a triangle, because Dane is kind of gross as far as like, when he first seen her in the quadrant, the first thing he's like is, "Oh my God, what are you doing here? You can't do this. You will fail. You will die. You will not succeed." And ladies, don't we hate that in a guy? Don't we want somebody that is going to build us up, support us, all these things? It's not Dane. He's trying to get her out of there. Like, it's nice that somebody wants to like protect you, but at the same time, you also want somebody that is going to believe in you and, believe that you're capable of succeeding, especially as she starts to progress through all these tasks. She survives threshing. And bonds not one, but two dragons. She bonds Taryn and Andarna. We'll talk about how that happens. She gets through the gauntlet. She does succeed through these hand-to-hand combats. And every time she does, it's like, it gives her more confidence. Like, man, maybe I can actually succeed. Maybe I can do this. But anytime she talks to him after, he was like, "Thank God you survived that. Now let's get you out of here before you die, because you're not going to survive." And it's like, low key, it gets annoying and it's kind of gross, and it gives her the ick. It gave me the ick. So it wasn't good. Meanwhile, Xaden, he gives her advice on how to combat Jack. He literally teaches her what are the best kill techniques for her body type and her smallness. Like, you trying to do all these big moves, you 5 foot nothing, you ain't gonna be able to stand off against an opponent like the rest of us, or people who are a different body type than you. You need to fight for your figure. And so he showed her like different vulnerability points and all of this. So he's like empowering her to be better, to be stronger, to succeed. Meanwhile, Dane is like, you can't do this. You suck. Like, you are not strong enough to be here. So I mean, it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. Who are we going to choose? Are we going to choose the man that supports us and tries to make us better and teaches us something? Or are we going to be supportive or want to date the man that is literally holding us back? It's a no-brainer. And also, the way that they describe Zayden Ryerson, like he's fine. Like, okay, so he's got the dark skin, he's got the tattoos, he's got the muscles, he's tall. Okay, so it's easy. And I mean, they say Dane is, you know, he's good looking too. He's cute and whatever, but you know, it's not all about physicality. It's about personality. Okay, and the personality that Dane is giving is icky, and the one that Zayden is giving is strong, confident, and mysterious. And he's like that bad boy. He's like taboo. His dad was the leader of the rebellion. You know, like everybody thinks that he's the bad guy. So yeah, you know, girls always go for the bad guy, right? It might not be the best, but we love somebody that's like, has a rough exterior, but is low key like a good person. Because, you know, they're just misunderstood, right? So that's what it's giving. It's giving bad boy Zayden is misunderstood, but he's really a good guy at heart. Meanwhile, Dane is supposed to be the good guy, and he's just not supportive. So there's that. While all of this is happening, like I said, we were going to talk about Threshing and how she bonds two dragons. So Threshing Day comes and she's like, I'm nervous. I don't think that I'm going to like bond any dragon. Let me go out in this field and see, like, you know, if I can get some, you know what I'm saying? So while she's, you know, trying to find a dragon, she sees Jack and his little compadres, and they trying to kill this smaller dragon. So there's like a golden dragon. The dragon is not big. It's not big and bad like all the other dragons. It's small, and they're like, this is a weak little dragon. Like, he shouldn't even be here. So we're gonna kill him. We're gonna kill him. That's what we're gonna do, because he shouldn't have showed up. So she like, hold up. We're not gonna leave the weak and defenseless to just get murked. So she puts herself between baby dragon and Jack, and she's like, y'all not finna kill this dragon. We honor dragons around here. We don't kill dragons. And they said, oh, I've been trying to kill you all year, so say less. I can kill both of y'all, 2 for 1, right? So she puts herself between them to try to save him. Then she been practicing though. So she ain't no punk. Like, she ain't strong, but she fast. So she been practicing with these knives. So he's like trying to come at her. And when he comes at her, she takes that knife, whoosh, gets him. He's like, what? Oh my God, I cannot believe this happened. This man takes off into the forest, runs away like a bitch. He gone. Then the other two that was there, one of them, so while she's fighting the other one, she's fighting 2-on-1 with these big men and this little girl, basically little body woman. She's a woman, but you know, she's small. So while she's trying to fight them, a big black dragon pulls up behind her, and he kills one of them. One of the guys, his name is Tyne, and he sees the big black dragon pull up, and then he takes off running. The dragon burns him, gone, smoke, disappeared. And then he tells her, you need to kill the one at your feet too, because he gonna come for you. And she's like, he's unconscious, because she has knocked out the other guy. I think his name was Oren. And now he's unconscious. He was like, you need to take care of him. She was like, nah, I don't kill nobody who's unconscious. You know, I never killed nobody before. He was like, okay, say less. And she was like, hold up. Why are you talking to me? How can I hear you? What is going on? He was like, no, I chose you. And she's like, come again? Pardon me? How do you choose me? I'm small. I'm I'm not what you're looking for. You're looking for one of these big, strong men's to bond, right? And he's like, no, I know exactly who you are. I chose you. You're the smartest one out here, and you defended a little bit. So yeah, go ahead on, get on my back. So in addition to her bonding Taryn, that's his name, she also bonds the golden dragon that she saved, and that's actually a girl. Her name is Andarna. So the gag is the dragon that she bonded, Taryn, is mates with this other dragon, a blue dragon, and her name is Sigale, and she's huge, she's scary, she's all the things, and she is bonded to Xaden. So now, because Taryn and Sigale are mates, now that links Xaden and Violet together as well. So if she dies, Xaden can die. If Xaden dies, she dies. Same thing, with the dragons. And there's a quote that is the first rule of Basgiath, basically. And the rule is a dragon without his rider is a tragedy. A rider without their dragon is dead. So once you bond, if your dragon dies, that's it, you're dead. And a dragon can survive if their rider dies, but it affects them very deeply emotionally. And then if the bond if the bond is strong enough, then they can also die too. But so now all four of them are linked together, which is another reason why he wants her to survive, because he's now affected as well. So once that happens, that's another reason why he's so motivated to like train her and make sure she's on par and she can defend herself and all of that, because he don't want to have to be saving her every 2 seconds. So once she bonds him, she kind of becomes like, number one, big dog around campus. There's that. Everybody knows her name now. But in addition, they kind of want to kill her too, because they want to bond him. So one night she's sleeping, minding her business, trying to get her some Z's, and then they come and attack her. And that's the only rule that they have in the college. You cannot attack somebody while they sleep. But they was like, F the rules. I'm trying to get this dragon. This girl is weak, so we're about to attack her. So like 6 people come to her room trying to kill her. And she's like caught off guard. But Andarna has power that she gave to Violet to help her survive. She knows how to stop time. Now this is a secret. So what happens is Andarna stops time, and she can like kind of scoot around the room or whatever. But it just buys them enough time for Xaden to show up. So Xaden pulls up, and his power is like he has commands of shadows. So he like walks in the room, and like all his shadows come out, and he like hauls up the 6 people in shadows and like strangles them and kills them. And then the main one, who was the one who Violet let survive on threshing, he slits his throat because he came in there too to kill her. And it's like the scene is kind of like, if you read it, you should read it, but like it's kind of sexy but like gory at the same time. But like he's just coming in there all muscles, with his power, and then like putting it up on everybody, and it's just like, it's kind of like a vibe. If you have an imagination, you'll be there. Us imagination girlies, we know. But anyway, so yeah, so that happens, and they get closer, they start falling in love, they be flirting, they be talking, they be doing all the things. So as she's progressing and they're doing different trials and going through classes and doing all the things, it comes to a part where they do, there's like different war games that they partake in. And this one particular one is they're doing like protect the egg, keep away the flag, or something along those lines. And she's going up against Jack. And like Jack has been bum rushing his way through the quadrant, like killing other cadets and stuff like that during challenges and all of that. So now during this challenge, one of her friends is also on her team. His name is Liam. And Jack stabs Liam and throws him off his dragon. And Darna stops time again, and then they catch him and get him to safety. But then she's like, I'm tired of you messing with my friends. I don't know what's wrong with you. And like she points at him and lightning strikes. So that is her power from Taryn. She's the lightning wielder. So she strikes the mountain that he's on. The whole thing causes an avalanche of stone, rock, and whatever, boom, and kills Jack. So they won the war games and she kills Jack. And she's just like freaking out. She's like, she can't get control of herself because she's never killed anybody in her life. And she's like vomiting. She's like all this adrenaline. She don't know what to do. She feels so sad. She's like, oh my God, I can't believe I killed him. They were like, you did good because Jack was a loose cannon. He was trying to kill everybody. Like, you are okay. You need to relax. So this is basically what Xaden is telling her. Meanwhile, Dana's like, you don't have to kill anybody again if you don't want to. He's still trying to get her up out of there. And Xaden is like, back the F up. That's not what she needs to hear right now. She needs to know she did the right thing. Like, cut the BS. So they get her to her room, try to get her calm, all of this kind of thing. And then Xaden comes by later after they check on Liam. Liam is fine, like he's, you know, recovering and all of that. And he's like, I just came to check on you. You know, I'm just trying to hear, are you okay? And all of that. One thing leads to another. And, you know, things happen between them. And they burn a hole in the floor. I'm not going, and I'm not even like, anytime she has an orgasm, lightning strikes because she can't control it. And like, she set the room on fire, I think. I don't know, like the curtains or something. And then he like puts out the fire with his shadows, meanwhile never stopping. Like, it's a good scene, okay? So there's that. But yeah, so it's just basically about her time in the quadrant. There are some major things that happen towards the end of the book that are so impressive, which I'll share those when I get into the question pieces. Like I said, this video is not for you if you haven't read the book and you want to read it. Like, if you've gotten this far, sorry, but I'm about to say like some crazy things that does happen in the book. Liam does die, and it's so emotional. I literally cried when Liam dies. I was reading it aloud, and I had to like I started crying, literally, because the friendship that she has with him, and then how he dies is just, I'm not going to say how he dies, but he does, and it's just like the worst. A major part that I forgot to mention is they are keeping, Navarre in general and Besguide is keeping a big secret from everybody in Navarre. So on another of these war games, they have to go out and do an assignment. And they think it's just like a regular war games thing, but really it's not. It is a tactic to get all the marked ones killed. And marked ones, I kind of need to go back. Everybody who was a part of this rebellion, like Xaden and like all the other kids whose parents were part of this rebellion, all of them got killed. They squashed the rebellion and then they got killed. But all the kids of rebellion parents, they give them all a mark or a relic, basically a tattoo, to say they're kids of the rebels. And all the kids of rebels have to go to the Riders Quadrant. They don't get a choice. Like everybody else can choose infantry, scribe, healer, or riders. They were like, no, all y'all going to the Riders Quadrant. And that is probably an effort to make sure they get killed. But some of them are just strong and they've been training and they know how to do what they're going to do, so they survive. And then that's how they prove their loyalty to Navarre. But there's some people, some loyalists who just don't trust them, who don't like them, who are not for them. And so This was a whole assassination attempt on all of the, on Zayden and like some of his friends who are all marked ones. But of course, Violet is thick as thieves with them now because she fucking the wing leader. You know what I'm saying? So she's there. And so they get called to this outpost called Athbeam, and they think that it's a part of war games, but it's really an assassination attempt. And the reason why they rebelled in the first place, their parents, is because they realized that Navarre was keeping a big, huge secret from everybody else. And it's about these creatures called Venin and Wyvern. So everybody thinks that they're at war with poor Emil and the Griffins, but really the thing that is attacking all the Paromish people and killing them are Venin and this thing called Wyverns. And Navarre has these wards or these shields around their whole country that stops magic completely except dragon magic. So Venin can't come there because they will be powerless if they go there. So they're basically protected, but everybody outside of those wards are getting murked. And so anytime there's a Griffin attack, they're really just trying to steal the weapons that power the wards so that they can kill Venin, because that is the only type of weapon that can actually kill them. So everybody's like, I don't know why the Paromish people keep attacking our outposts and stuff like that. We don't go into them and attack them. They just want to be aggressive with us, so that's why we fight. But no, the reason why is they're trying to get these weapons because their people are getting murked by these Venin. And basically what Venin is people who, there's 3 different ways to get magic. You either bond a dragon and get the dragon to give you, or the dragon will give you some magic. Or you bond a griffin and then the griffins will give you their magic, or you get it directly from the ground. And that is what the Venin do. They put their hands in the ground and basically siphon magic up out the ground, but that corrupts you because there's no conduit. It's like addictive. It takes over you and it controls you. So that is what has happened to all these people who are siphoning magic from the ground. It's making them crazy and making them power hungry and making them attack people and kill them and do all the bad things. So the Paromish people are trying to fight them. So everybody in Navarre does not know about Venin at all. They've actually managed to erase the history of Venin and Wyvern throughout their whole all their textbooks and stuff has been wiped clean just to keep this secret. And what Wyvern are, they're created by Venin, and they're dragons, but they are 2-legged dragons instead of 4-legged dragons. So they look different. Their fire is different. And basically, like I said, they're created by the Venin. And so if you kill a Venin, whatever Wyvern they create is dead. Which is the opposite of the dragon. Like if you kill a dragon, their rider is dead. So it's just like balance. So of course, studying to be a scribe, Violet has a book that is about folklore and talks about Wyvern and Venin and like that, but it talks about it as if it's just like a fantasy, like, you know, the boogeyman, basically. Like, if you don't eat your vegetables, a Venin is going to come and kill you and blah, 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 like that. But even that book is illegal in Navarre because they're trying to pretend that Venin and Wyvern don't exist. So she's read about it, but she doesn't think they're real. She just thinks it's fairy tales and all this stuff. So she goes with her man and all his friends to Athbeam, they think, for war games. They get there and they get a note from Dane's dad. His name is General or Lieutenant Atos. I don't know. He's an aide to her mom. And that's why she grew up with him anyway, because they were always stationed together because his dad was her mom's aide. But anyway, he's trying to like assassinate all of them. And he's like, okay, then they're about to attack that town down there. They're on the border. So the town that's getting attacked is not Navarre. It's a Paromish town. And he was like, you got a choice. Either you can fly and go to where you can go get your real assignment for war games, or you can save that little town and die and whatever. And they're human, like they got hearts, and like these people are innocent, like we're not just gonna let them die. So they go to save the people, and then there's like a whole skirmish with the Venom and Wyvern, and in that skirmish, that's when Liam dies anyway. But yeah, so that is what happens, that what takes place at that time. And she sees war and sees what's really going on, and she's just like in shock. She can't believe it, all these things. And she's really mad at Xaden because he knew about it, because that's the whole reason that his dad rebelled. So basically it reveals that the rebellion was actually a good thing, because it was people who believe in doing the right thing, not supporting the government, who was trying to like not help anybody else but only their people, and keep all the safety to them instead of helping other people who also need help. And he didn't think that was right, and their parents all didn't think that was right, and they started the rebellion for that reason. And then that's why they all got killed and marked and everything. So obviously the assassination attempt fails, but she gets really, really, really hurt in the battle, and she's basically about to die. So Xaden takes her to his house in Aracia, which is, it's in Tirandor, which is a part of Navarre, but it's closer to Port Meal. So that's how come they interact with them a lot, and that's how come they, you know, their town is really like on the border, so they see a lot more than the people that are like deep in Navarre. So he takes her to his house, and lo and behold, her brother, who she thought was dead, is there. And he's the one who like saves her life. And then that's like where the book ends. It was like such a cliffhanger. It was so good. It was everything. I love this book. It had everything. It made me cry. It made me laugh. It made me nervous. It made me angry. It made me frustrated. It made me happy. The love story that develops between Xaden and Violet is beautiful. I could relate it to my own personal love story. The love story between Taryn and Sigale, that are mates, that the dragons, that's top tier too. And I could relate to that relationship as well. So I don't know, it was very relatable. It was funny. It was just everything. And you should read it. Okay. So that's the recap. I probably missed some things. But that's the best I can do off the top of my brain, because I've read it a couple of times. Like, I will read it again. Like, this is a book that I could read over and over and over again. And so I love it. But now I need help in talking about like different parts of the book. So I'm going to get my little trusty list that I have here, and we can answer like some questions that I've prepared regarding, you know, Fourth Wing and the book discussion questions. So the first question is, what's one thing that you liked about Fourth Wing? And also, if you want to answer any one of these questions or all of them, put it in the comments below. Let me know. I would love to hear your answers to these questions too. Or if there's one question that stands out to you and you just want to answer one, that's fine. Please comment, like, subscribe, all the things. So this first question is, what's one thing that you like about Fourth Wing? I like everything about Fourth Wing. But I think I mentioned just now the relationship, the bond that Xaden and Violet develop from being enemies to lovers. I love that. How he's misunderstood, and then she begins to understand him, and she really can see him for who he is. I love that for them. I love the relationship between Taryn and Sigale, because Taryn is a big black dragon. He's the second most powerful dragon on the whole continent, and he bonds Violet, who's small and defenseless, but she and him are like a force to be reckoned with together. And the fact that his mate, Sigil, she's really powerful herself, but she's obviously not as big and bad as him. And even though he's the strongest dragon outside of the like one other stronger dragon than him, like he yields to his mate, and she can tell him what to do. Sigil runs Terran, not runs him, but like she still respects him and everything, but like she's the one that really holds sway with Terran. And I love that idea that you can be a big, strong, powerful man, but you still put your lady on top. As you should, because behind every strong man is a strong woman that should be yielded to. So that is one thing that I liked about Fourth Wing. What's one thing about this book that you would have changed? That's a crazy question. I don't know if I would change anything about the book. I love the story. I love the development of it. Even the world building, it sucks you in, because before this, I don't think that I liked romance and I liked fantasy, but it intertwines them so well together that it's just a masterpiece. I don't think there's anything that I would change about Fourth Wing. Question 3, there's a new name floating around for this particular genre, romantasy, romance fantasy. What other romantasy books have you read? What do you think about the genre's rise in popularity? I think it's awesome, because I think it encompasses more than just women. I think a lot of women love romance books, right? But I think guys can be interested in a lot of, good stories too, but they're not really into like the gushy. So combining both stories, I think, allows for people who love different types of genres to get a taste of both worlds, and have something in common with maybe a person that they would have normally not had something in common with. Like, I am a mushy girl, right? I love love. I love people falling in love. But there's a lot of guys who like the gore, the action, all of that stuff, who don't really subscribe to the love stuff, right? But now this book encompasses all of it. So then you get exposed to everything and see like, hey, maybe the action-packed part of it is really good and I need to get into that. Or you can be like, romance is not so bad, I can get into that too. So I like the fact that it entwines both and just makes for a really great story. Other books that I have read or that I'm reading, I'm currently reading the ACOTAR series, A Court of Thorns and Roses. That is going to be my next, for the book club, it'll be that's a 5-book series. It's so good. I'm not finished with it yet, so I haven't really announced it. And I know there was like 3 books for this one, and it's like 5 books for the next one, so I'm just trying to give it some time. But I actually really do love the ACOTAR series a lot. So that's another one. There's some other books that I want to get into that I've heard about that I haven't read yet. I'm really just getting into the romantasy genre, so that's why I don't have more suggestions. But that's still about five books, so we'll talk about that later. What makes the world building of Fourth Wing unique? It's not boring. A lot of times world building can be kind of tedious, and it's just like something that you have to get through so you understand the characters, you know what's going on, you know where they live and all of these things. But she sweeps you in from the very beginning, Rebecca does, and makes it all interesting. Sometimes world building can be just boring, like you just want to read it, get through it. But I did not get bored at all while reading this book. What do you think of the author's writing style? I loved it. I like that it's from the girl's perspective, Violet's perspective. I love that it is a strong female lead. I love stories like that anyway, for, you know, women empowerment and all of that. And the fact that you don't have to be physically strong to be strong. You know what I'm saying? I like the fact that she promotes the scribe quadrant a lot, even though Violet is a writer. She did a lot of reading. She's smart. You know me, I love books, I love learning, I love reading. So the fact that she promoted the scribes quadrant, even though she wasn't a scribe, was really good for me. Let's discuss Violet as a heroine, including her strengths, weaknesses, and motivations. Violet is just a good person in general. She wants the best for her country, for her society, for her friends. She's loyal. She's just a great girl. I can relate to her. I like the fact that she builds confidence as she succeeds, because that's very similar to myself. I don't like doing things that I'm not good at. So if I was her, I would have I don't think I would have quit, but I would have as I started succeeding, I'd be like, maybe I can actually do this. I like this. I'm good at this. And I saw that in her too. So I love her as a heroine. I think her strengths are, obviously, she's very smart. Sometimes she can't do things exactly like how the other cadets can do them because she's different, and she uses her brain to work around it to still succeed. She thinks outside the box. I love that about her. Her weaknesses, she does wear her heart on her sleeves. She's very emotional. There's some women that aren't as emotional, but I'm not one of those. I do wear my heart on my sleeves. I'm very sensitive. She's sensitive. So it can be a weakness, but it is also a strength. But it was very relatable for sure. And her motivations are her friends, her family. Her values. She has a very good, strong core value system that I like. Honesty, loyalty, gratitude. These are all qualities that I love and aspire to have. So I like that about her. Why do you think General Sorrengail made Violet join the Writers' Quadrant? Is she as heartless as she seems? Will she and Violet's relationship end up better or worse by the series' end? Based on the first book, it does come off that her mother is kind of cold and just kind of heartless, and she just wants her to be there. But I have an affinity. Most of my friends are very the ones that I'm closest to have strong personalities, and her mom just comes off as somebody with a strong personality who doesn't have the ability to communicate very well. So she doesn't know how to express what she really wants. And I've seen that a lot in people who are more assertive. All you see is the hard parts, but you don't understand why they are the way that they are. And I take time to understand that about those people, which is, I feel, why we get along so well, because I understand them and where they're coming from. And I think that we don't understand in this book, we just don't understand her motivations yet. But maybe further on we will. So, and I think once we understand, I think Violet will also understand and their relationship will improve. So I think that's how that goes. Which quadrant would you choose? Riders, scribes, healers, or infantry? I'm never going to infantry ever. That's not for me. Combat in general is not for me. I've never really gotten into a fight in my life, except with my sister, but that doesn't count because I was really just defending myself, right? That doesn't count when it's family. As far as physical altercations, I've been in arguments before with people, but physical fight, never outside of blood relation. So I'm not really an infantry girl. Honestly, I'm not really a rider quadrant girl either, because like I said, the idea of riding a dragon seems fun. Flying is fun. But you still have to kill people or almost get killed. And I like my life. Honestly, I think I'm a scribe. Um, and because I don't like gore, I couldn't do the healer's quadrant. I'm not seeing limbs, decapitations. I'm not seeing blood. I can't. And I don't like sick. Let me take that back. I shouldn't say I'm afraid of them either. This is all bad. I am not the one to be able to take care. Hats off to all the nurses because they do a job. They should make more money. Nurses and doctors are amazing. I love them. I am not cut out for that job. So no healer for me. But scribe, I love reading. I used to read the encyclopedia when I was a kid and the dictionary. I know I'm a nerd. I used to be in library club when I was in high school. So I think that is a telltale sign of which quadrant I belong in. And I also enjoy writing. We all know Shar the poet. So yeah, scribe all day, every day. Question 9. How does Violet being the daughter of a famed war general and sister to 2 other heroes affect the way people see her and she sees herself? Well, they probably always compare her, which comparison is the thief of joy. So she probably felt like she was living in their shadow. I know what that feels like. Or she was just feeling like she's not them and probably trying to find her individuality and try to find her own identity, which can be difficult. And you just want to stand out. You don't want to be just Mira's sister or Brennan's sister or General Sorrengail's daughter. Like you just want to be Violet, you know? And I felt that way in my life. I never wanted to be Marquita's sister or Mark Lawrence's daughter or Kim Lawrence's daughter. I wanted to be Charmaine. And I think a lot of people who feel like they live in the shadow kind of knows what that feels like. They just want to stand out and be their own person, whether that's not a smaller personality or maybe even a bigger personality, just their own little niche. Number 10, although it's never explicitly named, the author gave Violet her same chronic condition, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, EDS, which affects collagen in the body's connective tissue. How did Violet cope with it throughout the book? What do you think about the chronic illness representation? I think it's good because anytime we have a story that kind of like allows people with a certain ailment or a certain thing that they have to deal with be able to see themselves in art, that's always something that is positive. Sometimes people need to have relatability and see themselves on the big screen to know that they can do or be whatever that they want to be. Even though this is a fictional character, I'm sure everybody with this syndrome probably has felt like, man, I can't keep a bone to save my life, and the frustration and depression that might come along with that. And just to see like, oh, there's this character that like is like me, but she's strong and she deals with it. It's just good for your morale, I guess. The part, how did Violet cope with it? I thought it's not a joke, but it was kind of funny to hear her talking about like breaking her leg is just another Tuesday, or like, I live with pain every day of my life. I can handle all of this. And I mean, it's true. The things that we deal with make us stronger, and things that are supposed to make us afraid, maybe the things that make us stronger prepare us for that thing. And I think that she used her ailment as something to build up her strength to handle other things that came along. And I thought that's great. What was Violet's biggest act of bravery? I feel like her biggest act of bravery was, I think, going into battle when she felt like she was lied to and felt like she couldn't trust anybody, but still defending those people and going into battle for them, even though they had let her down. That is brave, because you're trusting the fact that they didn't have bad intentions and there was no maliciousness involved. And you really have to, trust is always hard. It's a leap of faith and it takes bravery. So I think that was her biggest act of bravery. Which of the writer's challenges would frighten you the most? I think threshing would frighten me the most, the fact that or presentation to the dragons, because all of the other challenges that they had to face, they were in control of. So it was up to them to either win or lose it, right? Like either you work out and you're strong enough to win against your opponent, you work out and you're strong enough to get over the gauntlet, you bring yourself, you work out and you're strong enough to cross the parapet. These are things that you can control and you have to put in the work to do. When you get to threshing, it's basically about what someone else thinks of you, what the dragons think of you. And if they don't like you, or if they think you're weak, or if they like whatever, it's out of your control. It's like outside people making a judgment, and they will kill you based on that. And to me, that is scary because you have no control, and I like being in control. So, 13 says, Basgaiath College is perfectly okay with lots of cadets dying in order to weed out the weak ones. Do you agree or disagree with this tactic? First of all, no, I don't agree with that, because people have different strengths that could be used in different ways. It's not all about physical strength. It's not all about speed and agility and stuff. You got to use your brain. And if you're killing somebody based on only physical things, then it's not good. Do you agree or disagree with this tactic? Obviously, I said I disagree. What does it say about Navarre's society as a whole? It's giving Sparta. Remember, like in, what was that movie? The Trojan, it was about the Trojan War. I forgot the name of it. My mind is so bad these days. But anyway, it was like they would throw away anybody that had like, oh, it was 300. I'm not even thinking of the Trojan War, but they were part of it. But I'm thinking of the movie 300, where everybody who wasn't physically perfect, like they would throw babies out and stuff like that. That's what it's giving. Is giving, if you're not perfect, you don't fit here. And as someone who has always felt like an outsider, they would have thrown me away. They would have thrown me off the cliff. This is Sparta, weak, and they would have thrown me off. So it's giving that Navarre is not a very accepting place of different people with differences, and that's not good. We've seen over and over again what that type of society does to people, and it's never a positive thing. What real world jobs are taken to an extreme like this, where candidates are expected to take lots of abuse in order to perform at top levels? I mean, I don't really know, like the military, I guess, obviously that, but I understand, like, you have to be prepared for what you're going to face, so there's a measure of that. So respect to the military, but I'm trying to think of another job that would be like that, but it's like not that serious. I think any job can be like that depending on who your boss is. So like if you have somebody in leadership who is feeling like that's their leadership method, then no matter the job, whether it's military, whether it's insurance, whether it's, I don't know, a florist shop. I don't know. If you are dealing with somebody like that, that's just, they can make any job a nightmare if they think that's gonna make you perform at a top level. So I don't think it's specific to any career type. I'm gonna answer 2 more and then we'll stop it there. Question 14, Violet says each day, I will not die today. If you were at Basgaiath, what would be your self-affirmation? I don't think it would be any different from the affirmations that I say now. Probably, you're the smartest in the room, because I usually am. So, you know. That's what I would say to myself. 15, why do you think Taryn and Andarna chose to bond Violet? Because she was brave and she stood up for the little guy, and everybody loves it when you defend the underdog. Everybody goes for the underdog. So she probably saw a lot of herself in Andarna, and she wanted to defend her when no one else would. And I think that's why Taryn and Andarna chose to bond with her. So I'm going to answer, I know I said those were going to be my last ones, but I'm scrolling down to the bottom of the list and I'm answering 2 more questions. The last one, the second to last one is, what were some of the most memorable scenes or events in the book for you? So my most memorable scene is that final battle where Liam passed away and she has to go save everybody, and she can throw lightning, but she can't aim it. So Andarna gives her time-stopping ability to slow down time so that she can aim a lightning strike to hit a venom. And the mental picture that it created in my head was like, it gave me goosebumps. I believe that was like one of my favorite scenes in the book, to see her like come full circle and be the one that saves everybody with her strength and her power and just her ability. And then how it just, that the lightning goes right to his head and he just like falls off the wyvern. It's just, you have to read it. And then of course, like I said, that love scene, it was giving hot and spicy. Okay. What was your takeaway from the book? My takeaway is that it is really a good story. It fed my imagination. It fed my desire for romance. It fed my desire for action. It helped me, like, we live in a world where we're under stress, like, constantly. And just to have a few hours to just be taken away to a different universe was fun. I mean, I love to read. So yeah, you should read it too. I rate this book 10 out of 10. And I've already read Iron Flame and Onyx Storm, but we'll do the book reviews for those too. I was trying to make sure that I based this one on just Fourth Wing, because it's so easy to slip into the next book and then the next book, but we're not doing that. One at a time, please. And let me know your thoughts. Did you read it? Have you read Fourth Wing? Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your favorite parts. Tell me some of your answers to these questions. And tell me if you like my book review or you like this format. Let me know if I should change it. And also remember, let me know the drink that you think should be in representation of it. All right, guys. That's all for today. I'm going to hope that I don't take as long to make the next one. I'm working on consistency. And Fourth Wing, happy Sunday.